Hi, it's Nikki here from Happy Hormones for Life, and today I am talking about ways that you can help your anxiety during perimenopause and menopause. Now, I've written about anxiety in menopause before, but obviously during the last year or so, not surprisingly, the number of women suffering with it has shot up to record levels. Not only has it been a hugely anxious time, at this time we are obviously still in lockdown in the UK, but as women, we are much more susceptible to anxiety than men, and even more so apparently in Europe and the USA. Everybody feels anxious at times. It's part of our stress response, and that enables us to deal with danger so that that's just our survival response. But when anxiety turns into kind of excessive fear, panic, and worry, it can really start having a devastating effect on both your home and your work life. Many women, on top of this, find they become more anxious during perimenopause, over 40, over 35, over 40, and postmenopause as well, even if they've never had anxiety in the past. Physical symptoms that can go along with these feelings of fear and worry obviously include things like sweating, palpitations, panic attacks, shaking, nausea, and diarrhea in a few people as well. So what is fueling the anxiety? Well, as well as outside obvious circumstances such as global pandemics and psychological factors as well, anxiety also has some physical causes that can fuel or exacerbate it. So I'm going to go through a couple of these now. First one, obviously, cortisol. This is our stress hormone. And when we're under constant cortisol release, or when we're constantly releasing cortisol, too much or too little cortisol can actually interfere with your brain neurotransmitters, and that can obviously increase anxiety. So what we want to be doing, every single video I talk about this, but to really schedule in and prioritize your daily stress management practice, your daily self-care practice, whatever that is for you, whether it's meditation, mindfulness, walking in nature with dog or without a dog, hobbies, deep breathing, yoga, reading, massage, whatever it is that helps to relax you and switch off that cortisol response. So important that you make it a non-negotiable. Otherwise, then cortisol could be having an effect on your anxiety. We can also include things like adaptogenic herbs that really help with that stress response and help your adrenals, things like rhodiola and ashwagandha. There are some really nice formulas over in my collection in my shop as well, which I'll put a link to. The second thing we need to be thinking about is obviously sex hormone changes. So your estrogen, your progesterone, your testosterone, they have a big role to play in how your brain works and therefore how you feel. And obviously fluctuations after 40 can increase those anxious feelings. It can mess with your resilience to stress. It can cause depression and general brain fog, etc. Hard to focus, motivation, all those things that can affect us at this time. So what we want to be doing is trying to balance those sex hormones. So including phytoestrogens in your diet, that helps to regulate your estrogen levels. So things like flax seeds, organic soy, lentils and chickpeas are really good for these phytoestrogens. Also, you want to be looking at increasing the progesterone. Things like Agnus castus can help with that, although it does vary with effectiveness. But getting your hormones tested can be really helpful if you're having symptoms and things like this aren't working for you, if you're trying lots of different things, because you may need HRT or you may not need it, depending on what your hormones are actually doing on the inside. Next, we want to look at insulin. Insulin is your blood sugar regulating hormone, but it's your major fat storer as well. But it can push up, when insulin's high, it can cause inflammation, and that can travel to the brain, and that's going to mess with your neurotransmitters again and how your brain functions, and definitely can mess with your mood as well. So we want to keep your blood sugar nice and stable so that we avoid too much anxiety and stress. So we want to be eating a low GL diet, lots of protein and healthy fats at each meal, and complex carbs rather than the simple ones, so that blood sugar the sugar from the carbs gets released more slowly. You want to try and avoid snacking if you can, because that just pushes insulin up, and obviously reducing things like alcohol, which messes with your blood sugar too. This is all going to help you keep your blood sugar stable and reduce that inflammation. Next, we want to think about your thyroid. If your thyroid is not optimal, it's going to mean a lower supply of energy to the brain cells, and this is going to obviously disrupt normal mood and brain function, and also can increase anxiety. Depression and anxiety in a lot of cases is due to suboptimal thyroid hormones. especially for women. It just does tend to affect women more often. So do need to get your thyroid properly tested. So you want to get your TSH, your T4, your T3 is the most important thing. That's your active hormone. So if your TSH and T4 are normal and not showing any abnormality, they might be fine, but they may not be converting into the active hormone, which is your T3. You also want to check your antibodies, make sure that there's no autoimmune reaction to your thyroid. We want to be looking at nutrients that support your thyroid, including iron, especially important for menstruating women and vegans, because plant iron is a little bit harder to absorb. Vitamin A, vitamin D, zinc, selenium, iodine, all really important for your thyroid to work properly. Now, next one, it relates to thyroid as well, is gut health, because we know there is a direct link between your gut and your brain. So if your gut's not happy for any reason, you may have digestive issues, you may not, you don't have to have them for your gut to be not working properly, then it can contribute to low mood and anxiety, because there's the direct link to the brain. So you've got to be looking after your gut. I would be eliminating foods you might be sensitive to, just to see if that works. Things like gluten or dairy. Just do it for a few weeks and see how you feel. Your anxiety might completely disappear. You never know. It has happened before quite a few times in clinic. Or you could be trying foods that are rich in prebiotics and probiotics. You know, the cold potatoes, the green bananas, the live yogurts, the sauerkrauts, the kefir, kombuchas, all those things to feed your gut bacteria and make sure that you're looking after them. The next big one is nutrient deficiencies. Vitamins and minerals are crucial for brain health. Things like magnesium, it's nature's tranquilizer. Vitamin D is the sunshine vitamin. Vitamin D deficiency has been linked many times to anxiety and depression. And of course, where are we now? We're in the middle of a UK winter and we haven't seen the sun for yonks. So many of us are vitamin D deficient if we're not supplementing. So make sure you either get that tested or you start supplementing. Crucial for your immune system, by the way, so we absolutely need that. B12, really important for the brain to work properly. Again, depression linked with B12 deficiency, so make sure you get that checked. Not always routinely checked at the doctors either. B6 is really important. It helps to make serotonin, which we know keeps us happy. Folate helps B12 and iron to work properly. Iron obviously is needed to carry oxygen to the brain cells. Omega-3 fats, really important. Your brain is 60% fat, mainly DHA, so it's important that you get some DHA in your fish oil. Zinc, really important, amongst many others. So if we're not getting enough nutrients from our diet, or we're not absorbing them very well, which can happen as we get older, we can get these deficiencies and that can cause symptoms. So again, make sure you're supplementing if you're over 40. I've got my top 5, which you are very welcome to look at and consider. I'll put a link underneath. And, you know, do get some tests done. If you've tried everything else and you're still looking for answers, then obviously testing can be the missing link. We find that all the time, we do. So if you think your anxiety is more kind of physical than emotional and you'd like help finding the root cause, do contact me or message me and we'll get a free call set up with one of my team to see if we can help. I hope you found that useful today, and I hope you're keeping well, and take care. I'll see you soon.